Welcome to a city that's had a lot of names. Constantinople, the Queen of Cities. Lagos, Byzantium, Augusta Antonia, Kushta, Zaragrad, the city, Sublime Port, Istanbul, New Rome, Polis, New Jerusalem, or City of Pilgrimage. But nowadays, of course, it's called
Istanbul was Constantinople, now it's Istanbul, not Constantinople, been a long time gone. Constantinople, now it's Turkish delight on a moonlit night. Every gal in Constantinople lives in Istanbul, not Constantinople, so if you've a date in Constantinople, she'll be waiting in Istanbul.
So this is the Hippodrome, what was the old Roman chariot racing arena, I guess. And now it's just a really nice paved kind of park, but right in the heart of the old town as well. Right next to, it leads onto the Blue Mosque and Hagia Sophia, and behind you've got this obelisk that the Romans nicked from Egypt, and at the far end that's the turn where the chariots would have gone round that and then gone back the other end. But it's one of the best walks in the city, I think, especially around this time, around sunset. It's quite quiet. You'd expect loads of hawkers and people trying to sell you stuff, but there's just a few shoe shine guys and some bread guys, and it's just pleasant, really peaceful. Even in a massive city of like 17+ million, you can really find areas of quiet.
Take me back to Constantinople. No, you can't go back to Constantinople. Been a long time gone. Constantinople. Why did Constantinople get the works? That's nobody's business but the Turks. Istanbul. Istanbul.
So this is the Hagia Sophia in Istanbul, in the whole town. Built in 537 by the Emperor Justinian. It was the greatest cathedral in Christendom, and then became one of the greatest mosques in the world when it was Istanbul, when Constantinople fell to the invading Muslim armies, and this place was converted immediately. So now it's a museum. In the 30s, Ataturk dedicated it to the nation, and it really is a must-see for Istanbul. You can't really come here and not come to this place. Some crazy facts, like the main dome above was such a great work. I mean, it was originally built in the 6th century, and it was such an incredible feat of technology that it was barely equalled even 1,000 years later in some of the other mosques. To achieve it, they used hollow bricks that were made in Rhodes from a special clay to give it the lightness, and that's why they've got this central space, just a huge open plan space, so they didn't need the columns to support the dome. Another thing about the dome, originally it was, you can still see some of the gold mosaic tiles, but originally it was completely gilded, and it was 30 million tiles just on the inside of the dome. So you can get the scale of this building is crazy. But I've got to say, even though it is very impressive in scale and the art and mosaics and things, it's not my favourite. I think probably because it's such a must-see, it's so busy all the time, and I prefer the quiet confines of the little Hagia Sophia on the other side of the old town. But nevertheless, it's quite an impressive building. This is little Hagia Sophia mosque in the old town, but away from the large mosque. It's a really small space, built in the early 6th century by Emperor Justinian's wife. This was built a few years before the Hagia Sophia itself, and it was converted to a mosque 1,000 years later in the 1500. But it's so nice, so pretty. The huge mosques are really, really impressive, but I like this one the most, I think. Just for how small and quiet it is. There's a tea garden outside, and it's just so old. It's been a church for 1,000 years and a mosque for over 500 years. Wow. It's kind of amazing to think that in the 6th century, when America, Australia didn't exist to the known world, and Western Europe was basically a feudal place of poverty and Vikings, Byzantium was putting up marble columns and doing intricate filigree and carving and just amazing stuff. This is as exciting as any of the really big statement mosques and which were churches in Istanbul. Really worth coming to see.
Istanbul was Constantinople, now it's Istanbul, not Constantinople, been a long time gone. Constantinople, now it's Turkish delight on a moonlit night. Every gal in Constantinople lives in Istanbul, not Constantinople, so if you a date in Constantinople, she'll be waiting in Istanbul.
Just down from Hagia Sophia, this is Topkapı Palace. It was kind of the main seat of the Ottoman Empire, started by Mehmet the Conqueror in the 15th century and added to by the succeeding dynasties. It's a huge complex of courts and pavilions, lots of tiles and some treasures, like there's the spoonmaker's diamond in the treasury, which is the 5th largest diamond in the world. The story goes it was found by a peasant, and he took it to a market to try and sell it, thinking it was glass or something, and the jeweler saw it and told him it was glass and gave him 3 spoons for it, whether that's true or not. If you like Ottomans, you like tiling, come here. Maybe because it's a Saturday and it's a nice day, but Christ, there's so many people here. It's not that fun. It's just a queue fest. But anyway, take it, leave it. 5th biggest diamond in the world. It's not that big. It's like a good way to get away from the crowds in Istanbul is to come up here to. This is the Golden Horn. It's an inlet from the Bosphorus, and it runs along what's known as the western districts or the western suburbs of the city, that were the home to the Greek and Jewish communities, among others. And there's some old synagogues and Byzantine churches. We're going to head up now into the district itself and route out some old Byzantine churches and maybe even the synagogue. It's Chora Church, up on the highest hill in the western suburbs. It was originally a 6th century church of the Byzantine era, but the one that stands today is from the 11th century. It's full of intricate mosaics. It's hardly anyone comes up here to have a look, so it's really kind of cool. Another thing about it is it was converted to a mosque, but now it's a museum, and it's been beautifully restored back down to the original mosaics.
Istanbul.